Waadaplaya, India, England, Australia. A baller, lucky, big three-side slayer. What a player, what a player, what a player. Discussing zinger bells and white balls to hells. Bagging greens for long from New South Wales. Is the RPL heaven or hell? Will the 100 fail or do quite well? What a player, what a player, what a player.
Well, if you thought the first semi-final was good, boy, we got an absolutely thrilling encounter on the second semi-final between Pakistan and Australia, one for the ages. And I can see Suman, a very happy Aussie fan. This is Waadaplaya concussion sub. Vishak and Suman with me. Suman is absolutely pumped up from India, putting into bat first, which has been the trend. Pakistan did get 170 odd, and Australia in the end, thanks to an absolutely brilliant knock by Matthew Wade, sealed the deal for Australia to make it to their second final in a T20 World Cup. And this time we will definitely have a new winner because New Zealand and Australia have never won a T20 World Cup. Suman, starting with you, how good was that? That was a brilliant game.
It was definitely a great game. Finally, the high scoring games are back. Finally, the knockout matches feel like they are knockout matches. And guess what? It's going to be a cracker of a New Zealand versus Australia derby.
Vishak, lots and lots of points to talk about. Just that finish from Matthew Wade. How will this go down in the history of T20 World Cup? We've seen lots and lots of good encounters and knocks over the years, but I can't recollect something like this apart from Carlos Brathwaite and maybe Jimmy Neesham yesterday.
I think we're forgetting Michael Hussey, what Michael Hussey did to Syed Ajmal. That was a brilliant innings back in 2010. So this stands next to that, actually, according to me, because I think the Australia were kind of behind the game when Warner got out, and at that point of time they were already 5 down and they needed to score half the runs still. And at that time, 81 run partnership in just about 8 or 9 overs. That was brilliant. And the way the game was finished after that drop catch, 3 sixes, bang, 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 and 2 of them scoops. It was brilliant. And something which I read somewhere, it's like over the 6 editions of the tournament, right? The team which has won all the games in the initial phases has never gone on to win the tournament. Seems to be a curse in this T20 World Cup. A team which has been unbeaten has never won the World Cup. So the same thing has happened to Pakistan. So
yeah, it'll happen. It'll happen at some point in time. Suman, Pakistani fans के लिए काफी disappointing. First things first, I know all these games end up in some team losing and some team winning. That drop catch from Hassan Ali, I think people will probably remember that as something which is sort of a mistake which led to Australia winning. But even after dropping that catch, they needed 18 of 9. That is sort of defendable when you have your ace bowler. But 3 sixes, absolutely unpredictable.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of ways to look at it, right? You can always find a scapegoat and say Hassan Ali dropped the catch, hence we lost. But if you go back and watch the highlights, which I was doing before the show, all these were length balls. What Shaheen Shah Afridi bowled that last over was he was trying for Yorker, understandably, but Wade was smart. But if you look at the second six, it was right in the slot, right? And even Hassan Ali's ball, he went for 9 average runs for 4 overs, 4 overs, 44 or something like that. So I think it is a combination of bad bowling. I would not attribute everything to Hassan Ali drop catch. Yeah, happened in the spur of the moment, but I think Pakistan bowled badly. Slight panic mode, understandably so. I think they reached because it's a knockout game.
And
Vishak,
one more thing which I noticed, if you see the way Harris, Roth, and Hassan Ali they've bowled in the previous games, they used to have a lot of change-ups. They used to bowl a lot of change-ups in the depth. Today that was missing. They were going for all pace. I was actually surprised by that, and you were giving pace to the Aussie batsmen who were actually looking for it. Maybe an off-pace delivery or something could have changed the momentum, and they were looking to hit. Maybe they could have mistimed an off-pace delivery and it could have changed. But bowling at 140 and 140 plus 150, they were actually playing into the Aussie batsmen.
these are such fine margins, Suman. I mean, I looking at the game, it looked like Pakistan again, just like England, were in control until the last 3 or 4 overs, and suddenly you have this 20 run over, and that's the end of the game. You didn't think that it'll end up with 1 over to spare. So it's
Yeah,
sort of difficult, as you mentioned, to pinpoint anything. It's just those small margins, and it's so difficult to take that as Pakistan fan, probably, because your team's doing well. It's a packed crowd, but yeah, this will be a bitter pill to swallow.
yeah, it is definitely going to be hard for Pakistan fans and players. I mean, winning every single game and losing in a semi-final will be very, very rough. And that's too. This is World Cup. But looking back, I think it is a seesaw battle. They got off to a flyer, Pakistan, when the power play happened. I think they had 50 plus, but then Rizwan started slowing down, which put pressure on Babar. Thankfully, Rizwan caught up, and then the last 4 overs or 5 overs of Pakistan, they managed to get to a pretty competitive total. And I was anxious that Aussies will struggle, but then again, Warner showing his class, luckily, and then Matthew Wade and Stoinis outstanding. I think Stoinis is underrated all rounder. Bowling, I don't know about it, but batting, he opened for Delhi Capitals, and we've seen the kind of damage you have done. And I've been following Twitter after the game, and looks like Matthew Wade is up for a big IPL contract.
With 10 teams coming up, I'm sure someone will definitely pick him, especially because he's a wicket keeper. He can open as well. That's where, as an Indian fan, it's just so disappointing. One is we do not get to feel that excitement of uh, of India being in a knockout game. But the other hand, if we were at the receiving end of someone dropping a catch, and I'd be finding it difficult to do the show here. But Vishak, 176 on board, as Suman mentioned, on a knockout game, probably add another 10 runs. Very competitive. They got off to a very good start again. Shaheen Shah Afridi getting a wicket. He could have got another one, umpire's call. But then suddenly that over from Imad Wasim, Warner decided he's just going to take him off. And that's where they started building that momentum. And then even when Stoinis and Wade came in, it wasn't that it was 15 plus run rate required. It was still 10, 12, which is sort of manageable. So that's something which Mitchell Marsh and uh, Warner ensured that the lower batters would have enough deliveries to score.
Exactly. As you said, right, after the wicket of Finch, they could have easily gone into a mode of consolidating and thinking we have to play out the 6 overs. But the way Warner and uh, Mitchell Marsh actually played, they took the momentum along. They made sure they get to around 6 overs, 54 or 55 for one. And I think that wicket of Marsh actually slowed down the game a little bit for Aussies. And Smith came in, he could not carry on. But still, Warner ensured that he was carrying on with that momentum, and he was actually keeping the run rate within sight. He was not allowing the game to drift away, so which was pretty good. And again, when, as you mentioned, when those two came in, it was like the run rate was 10, and maximum the run rate went to was around 13. And when it went to 13, they somehow found a six here and there to get it back to 12. So that's how it was. They never drifted from 12, 13 mark. So they kept the game always under control. And it was actually, if you see, Pakistan also bossed the game for the first 35 overs, according to me. They just lost it in the last 4 overs. So actually, Pakistan played pretty well. It was a pretty good score. They got off to a very good start. I think in the middle overs, that 11 to 15, they slowed down a little bit. But in the end, they got a very good kick with Fakhar Zaman actually firing, and those 4 overs, he went bang bang. So in the last 3 overs, even though he struggled a little bit in the initial innings, it was something similar to yesterday's Mitchell's innings, where Mitchell initially struggled and went bang bang. Fakhar Zaman's innings was also kind of similar. The last 3 overs, he just went bang bang and got them to a very good score. At that point of time, that 176, I thought it is going to be difficult for Australia, but never thought at the end Australia made it look pretty easy and chased it with an over to spare.
Yeah.
And
Also, so
word on Shadab's bowling, Vishak, seems like he bowled really well.
Yeah, he bowled pretty well. Actually, in the middle overs, whenever Australia were actually going away with the game, he actually got those wicket and got Pakistan with the because initially when they were just going on with the game, got that important wicket of Mitchell Marsh, and then those backed up with those two important wickets of Smith uh, and
wicket.
Warner. Even though Warner was unlucky, I think he should have reviewed that decision, but I don't know, like there was a particular sound and even that conviction of the appeal or something made him thought that he had nicked it. But I don't know what happened. There was when they afterwards when they showed the replay, it was clearly there was a delay between the bat and the ball. So not sure what happened there, but Warner was pretty unlucky. And then Maxwell, I think Maxwell had a brain fade there. Playing a reverse sweep at that point of time was not required, and that was he was the best bowler bowling there, and it was his last over. They could have easily played him out, and then knowing Maxwell, he can easily take the game on after that. So and he bowled pretty well, got those 4 wickets, set up the game for Pakistan, only for the paces to actually falter later.
Yeah,
But Maxi's on any other ground that would have been six, Vishak. I think Dubai ground is pretty big, but any other ground
I
that would
don't
have
think
gone
it
off
even went halfway, Suman. So I don't think.
but that was a good catch, and it's just so ironical because through the night they've held on to their catches. They did pretty well. It's difficult to pinpoint if you keep that. I mean, there were a few no balls, I agree, and that Hassan Ali catch. But even after that, 9 balls, 18 runs, I'd still back maybe Shine Shah Afridi to close the over out, not giving more than 5-6 runs, and then have 14, 15 runs for the final over to defend. So it is difficult for Pakistan, but you have to give credit to Australia. The way they ensured that, and there were so many dot balls. Suman Stoinis was confident that 2 or 3 sixes here and there, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, Dhoni school of business, right? Take the game to the deep, and with IPL experience, I can associate, and even Big Bash League. These guys play Big Bash League quite often, so these two are specialists. Wade also, when India was touring last year in T20s, Wade was in terrific form in T20 games, right? So underrated. I think one other thing I can attribute to is after that 5 wickets fell, probably Pakistan felt this is in the bag and might have relaxed a little bit. Not sure, or again, time will tell in terms of what might have transpired. But at the end of the day, outstanding comeback. 7 overs, 74 or something. 42 balls, 74 runs is what I remember. And then I see that they almost won with 5 balls to spare.
Yeah, Shadab's spell was the best figures in a semi-final in T20 World Cups. Vishak, I know that 176 was relatively, more than enough. I would have thought with Pakistan's bowling attack. Anything they could have done differently tactically? I know the funny 2 bounce ball which uh, Warner just smacked it for 6. But yeah, anything they could have done differently, I'm thinking. I know Imad Wasim bowled that second over, and they were telling, I think on commentary, that as a matchup, again the favorite word these days. I think Warner had a strike rate of around 295 or something against Imad Wasim. So maybe they could have bowled someone else at that point in time.
No, I don't think so. I think as I said, they bossed the game for the first 15 overs. Even they were picking wickets when actually Australia were taking the game away, and they had the game under control for the first 15 overs. Only thing felt they lacked was the death bowling, because I already mentioned that they missed the slow. Harris Roth is known for his slower balls in the death overs, and today it was completely missing. It was all going for that 140, 150 deliveries, and that's, I think they could have tried something, because they knew that Australia had to go big and giving pace on that wicket, and when there is due, right, it's going to skid on further actually where to the bat. I think that's where they missed a trick. They could have tried some slower balls, some cutters, and maybe that could have helped. But never know in this form, the two Aussie batters, the kind of form they were in. You never know. Even though slower balls could have been dispatched, but at least they could have bowled a little better in the 10th. That's where I think they lost the game. And coming to that 2 bone 6, I think there are a lot of debates which are going on. I think whether it's in the spirit of the game or not. Gautam Gambhir has commented something, but I feel anyways it was a no ball first. When the ball bounces twice, it's a no ball.
No, if he had
So
not hit for a six, it would have been called a dead ball. So I think that's the reason there's a debate. So what do? You just block it? I'm sure. I mean, this is Warner is absolutely in his right to smack it wherever. If you can't bowl properly, then why not? Yeah. Unlike this whole business of running the non-striker and whatnot, this is bad ball effectively. No, Suman.
It's legitimate ball. I mean, what do you do when you get a bad ball? You hit it out. So Gautam Gambhir can speak and be salty about it, but at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong or no breach of spirit of cricket. I mean, you can argue that Mankad is the same way as well, but again, what could Warner would have done? Leave the ball as is and hand the ball back to Hafiz and give World Cup final berth or what? Impossible.
This
see, I think if it was only New Zealand, they would not have hit it. Yes, I think yesterday also we saw an instance where they did not take a single. When so they are the nice guys. Maybe they would not have done it, but any other team, I think they would have taken that opportunity.
And even
absolutely.
Gautam Gambhir would have hit the ball. I guarantee
Yes.
you if you would have got a chance.
Yes, definitely. And that is a dolly actually. You don't get such balls like bouncing twice and coming slowly to your bat, asking to be hit. It's almost like getting a short ball on your hips. Just
Yeah.
turn it away for six. It was just like
That's
that.
my bowling, basically. That's my bowling. And I'd get wicket with 2, 3 bounce. But coming to something very interesting, which Aaron Finch mentioned, obviously, both the semi-finals, the team chasing has won. This game, Aaron Finch said that there was no dew effectively. So it's got nothing to do with dew. But he did say that maybe under the lights, it does seem that the ball comes on a bit better. I wouldn't put down anything to toss. It's just the team batting second have batted very well to chase the target. Vishak, what are your thoughts?
I think the toss didn't play a factor in the two semi-finals. Maybe in the league games it did, because if you see the teams batting first actually put up a good total in both the games. It was just that the superiority of the batting side in the second half in both the games. If you see, there was just one innings in on the both the matches. Nisham in the first match and Wade in the second game. So they two played brilliant innings, and that actually changed the course of the game. So it was just the brilliance of one or two people in the end, which the team which had the better firepower actually won. But definitely, this is the kind of pitches we expected throughout the World Cup. As Suman already mentioned at the start, we are happy. We are happy that we are at least getting to see it in the knockouts, and hopefully, we get a sportive pitch in the finals also.
Yeah, I mean, my and Suman's wish of having a super over in the IPL or the World Cup is doesn't look like it be fulfilled. I was hoping for at least a last over final, but I'll still take these two games as semi-final. I think they lived up to the expectation. All we can hope is that the final is as good. Without an Asian team, probably there'd be less eyeballs on it. But Australia and New Zealand fans, just looking ahead slightly, what a bad timing for them to watch the game. It'd be like midnight and beyond. It'll be only
Yeah.
the
I
hardcore
think
fans, Suman.
I think Australia is some 1:30 a.m. and New Zealand is some 3 a.m. something like that. But they won't mind. This is World Cup final. I mean, we all know the cricket fans. We can wake up anytime. You can sleep late as long as the game is good. And it should definitely be a good game because New Zealand are on top form. Australia, like we spoke yesterday, preview, they're peaking at the right time, and their middle order today will give them huge confidence. Except for Smith, I think they probably they will because Devin Conway is not playing, and I think top five will all be right-handers. Zampa will play, and then maybe Cummins or Hazelwood might sit, and Ashton Agar. Probably that might be one change. Aussies will be tempted. Otherwise, looking forward for finals.
Vishak, Devin Conway not playing, Seifert probably comes in, or do you think does Glenn Phillip keep as well?
Glenn Phillips keeps. So I think they might go for a another batter somewhere in the middle order. Not sure who they have in the squad. So we'll have to see. Maybe they have Tom Latham also in the squad. Maybe he can come in and bat in the middle order. So that is something they wouldn't take a look.
They'll pick up anyone and they'll perform. Daryl Mitchell, I don't know many people would have heard about him before the World Cup, but after the semi-final, everyone knows about them. Suman, should we even do a prediction? Because all the prediction, everyone's done over the period of this World Cup. Everything seems to have crashing down. England, Pakistan, Pakistan, Australia, England, New Zealand. Nothing of that sort. It's a trans-Tasman final. What are you expecting? Australia to come up trumps? You're on mute. You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Naturally,
Mute,
I will
mute,
say
mute.
Australia.
No,
Naturally, I'll say Australia.
it was like the presenter today after the match asking Shane Watson who would win. You're doing the same thing with Suman at the moment.
But look, New Zealand are in top form. I wouldn't rule out New Zealand having an upper hand. Probably 60-40 because Kiwis are like well-rounded side. Hopefully Devon Conway's impact won't be felt much, and Aussies will be, as these kind of games give huge confidence to the games, and you can see the body language of Wade and Stoinis, and in the dressing room when they won, it was quite pumped. So yeah, it should be a close game, and looking forward for it.
Vishak, as long as this is not as boring as the 2015 final, I'd be happy. But the two semi-finals have all built up our expectation. I'm really hoping it's a very close contest, something like a last over finish.
Yeah, I would want the game to go till the 40th over. And hopefully, I would want New Zealand to win because there's a saying that the nice guys don't finish first, right? Or they finish last. So I want them to finish first because the way they play the game, something about that New Zealand side always seem to like them. And apart from the side you support, if apart from India, and even if you see, right, even in the 2019 World Cup, we weren't that sad that we lost to New Zealand because it was if we had lost to any other side, maybe we would be really sad because it was just New Zealand. We were okay with it. The same way, if New Zealand wins, we would be we would still be disappointed that India didn't win it, but we would still be happy that if New Zealand won it because they're always the nice guys. You don't find a reason to hate them. So, and Kane Williamson, the kind of guy he is, I want him to lift a World Cup. And I think he's already won one ICC trophy. And if he can round off with another one, it would be great.
Yeah.
At least Kohli didn't win all the three, as you mentioned. So at least Williamson
No,
can win two.
no trolling Kohli, please. No, no, no. We can't have that.
We're not trolling Kohli here. We're trolling you, Sanjay. So
What are you saying? I'm sick. I'm sick of New Zealand. I mean, how many times they come as underdogs and whatnot and start doing so well? They beat us every now and then. But no, jokes apart. I mean, they are a credit to their nation. Absolutely brilliant. And hopefully the best team will win, and whoever it is, it'll be a new champion. So that's what we can hope for. Suman, last thoughts.
Last thoughts is hopefully we get our wish fulfilled of getting a super over. If not super over, at least take it to the last over. And hopefully it's not a one-sided game, which I don't think it will be, knowing both the sides. So yeah, enjoy the finals, and finally the T20 season is coming to an end.
Fantastic.
it's
Vishak,
not
just
coming to
one
an
last.
end soon. So 17th again, India versus New Zealand T20 is starting. So it's going to continue. Maybe it's getting a little overdose. Maybe
Yeah.
it would have been if tests first and the T20s, it would have been better. But yeah, we can still take it at least as long as cricket continues. Could be great for us.
Absolutely. Another ICC tournament coming to an end. But hey, the next one is not far away. It's only 10 months and it'll be upon us very, very soon. Suman, Vishak, thank you very much for your time. For folks who have come to our channel for the first time, please do. You want to say something?
Yes, I do want to call out that we identified 8 new Australia supporters during the day today in our Waadaplaya group, including Vishak. So congratulations to all the new players. And then now, Sanjay, you can close the call.
I was backing Pakistan. To be honest, I'm really disappointed. I know a few Pakistani friends around here and been tracking their social media and whatnot. It would have been great for their nation because of all the recent things that have happened. People touring, then going off. But if you're a Pakistani fan, this is brilliant for them. They've exceeded everyone's expectation, and barring
Yeah.
a few things here and there, they were absolutely brilliant. I mean, if this is how India played and went out, I'd be fine. As a fan, all you can hope is they give their best, and the best team will win on the day. So, anyways, if you're here for the first time on our channel, please do check out our channel for other cricketing contents, and do consider subscribing to our channel if you like our work. We will be previewing the final hopefully, and maybe do a mid innings and a review of the game definitely. So do join us if you can. Suman, Vishak, thank you very much again, and we'll speak to you on Sunday.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks